Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating stories from the African continent, the incredible life and legacy of Mansa Musa, the richest man in history. His story is not only about immense wealth, but also about wisdom, leadership, culture, and how one man's journey reshaped the world's understanding of Africa's greatness. So, sit back and let's explore the legend of Mansa Musa, the king whose wealth and generosity became the stuff of myth. Mansa Musa was the emperor of the Mali Empire in the 14th century, one of the most powerful and prosperous kingdoms in West Africa. He ruled from around 1312 to 1337, during a time when Mali was at its peak in terms of trade, culture, and education. The empire stretched across vast lands including modern day Mali, Senegal, Gambia, Guinea, Niger, Nigeria, and Mauritania. But what made Mansa Musa truly remarkable wasn't just the size of his empire, it was the unimaginable amount of gold under his control. During that time, gold was the foundation of the world's economy, and Mali sat right at the center of the gold trade. Historians estimate that Mansa Musa controlled over half of the world's gold supply. Yes, half. His kingdom was overflowing with resources, fertile lands, and bustling trade routes that connected West Africa to North Africa, the Middle East, and even Europe. But Mansa Musa's wealth wasn't just about money, it represented the power and potential of Africa itself. One of the most legendary moments in his life was his famous pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324. As a devout Muslim, Mansa Musa decided to undertake the Hajj, a sacred journey that every Muslim strives to make. But unlike any other pilgrimage in history, Mansa Musa's journey became a global spectacle. He didn't travel quietly. Instead, he set out with an entourage so massive that it amazed the entire world. According to historical accounts, his caravan included 60 men, thousands of servants, soldiers, and courtiers, and about 12 slaves, each carrying bars of gold. He had camels carrying hundreds of pounds of pure gold, and the entire procession stretched for miles across the desert. When Mansa Musa passed through cities like Cairo and Mecca, he spent gold so freely that it disrupted local economies. In Cairo, he gave away so much gold in gifts, donations, and lavish spending that the value of gold dropped significantly for over a decade. This created inflation in Egypt and across North Africa, an event so remarkable that even European and Middle Eastern scholars wrote about it. Imagine being so rich that your generosity changes the global economy. That's the level of wealth Mansa Musa commanded. But this journey wasn't just about displaying riches. Mansa Musa used it to build alliances, strengthen Mali's presence on the global stage, and show the world that Africa was home to power, sophistication, and learning. He returned from Mecca with scholars, architects, and traders who helped him transform Mali into a hub of culture and education. One of his greatest achievements was the development of the city of Timbuktu, which became a symbol of African intellectual and spiritual life. Under Mansa Musa's rule, Timbuktu flourished. It became home to grand mosques, libraries, and universities that attracted scholars from across Africa and the Middle East. The most famous of these was the University of Sankore, which became one of the most respected centers of learning in the world. People came from far and wide to study science, mathematics, astronomy, law, and theology there. It's hard to believe, but at a time when much of Europe was still recovering from the Dark Ages, Timbuktu was shining as a beacon of knowledge and progress. Mansa Musa also used his resources to promote Islam throughout West Africa. He built mosques across his empire, including the iconic Jingrabur Mosque in Timbuktu, which still stands today as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. He encouraged literacy, education, and cultural exchange. His leadership wasn't just about wealth, It was about using that wealth to empower his people and preserve knowledge for future generations. What makes Mansa Musa's story even more fascinating is how he managed his empire. He ruled with wisdom and organization. Mali was a vast land with many ethnic groups, languages, and traditions, but under his leadership, it remained stable and prosperous. He appointed governors to oversee different regions and ensured fair trade practices across his empire. The Niger River served as a lifeline for transportation and commerce, helping Mali thrive as one of the greatest economic powers in the medieval world. Even though his wealth was immense, Mansa Musa was known for his humility and devotion. He didn't view his riches as a means to personal pleasure, but as a way to serve his people and his faith. His generosity became legendary. During his pilgrimage and even after returning, he distributed gold to the poor, built schools and hospitals, and supported the arts and sciences. This balance between wealth and spirituality made him one of history's most respected rulers. The stories of Mansa Musa's wealth spread far beyond Africa. When European cartographers created maps of the world, they included Mali and Mansa Musa prominently. One of the most famous maps, the Catalan Atlas of 1375, shows Mansa Musa sitting on a golden throne, holding a golden nugget, symbolizing the riches of Africa. This depiction inspired European explorers to seek the source of Africa's gold, eventually leading to centuries of exploration and colonization. In a way, Mansa Musa's fame helped put Africa on the world map literally. Despite his immense fortune, Mansa Musa's true legacy lies in what he built for his people. His reign marked the golden age of Mali, where culture, trade, and education flourished like never before. His influence reached far beyond his lifetime, leaving a mark on Africa's identity as a land of wealth, wisdom, and civilization. Long after his death, the stories of his generosity and greatness continued to inspire generations. Historians still debate exactly how much wealth he had, but according to modern estimates, his net worth would be over $400 billion in today's money, possibly even more. That makes him the richest person in human history, surpassing modern billionaires by a huge margin. But what makes his story different from others is that Mansa Musa's riches weren't built on exploitation or greed. They came from a prosperous, organized society that valued trade, learning, and cultural unity. Mansa Musa's life teaches us that wealth can be used as a tool for growth, not just power. He didn't hoard his riches or use them to dominate others. Instead, he used them to build mosques, schools, and libraries that would educate generations to come. He invested in people, in knowledge, and in faith. His leadership showed that true greatness comes from the ability to uplift others, not just yourself. Even today, the legend of Mansa Musa continues to inspire Africans and people around the world. He stands as a reminder of Africa's glorious past, a time when kingdoms thrived, cities sparkled, and knowledge was treasured. His story challenges the stereotypes about Africa's history and reminds us that this continent was home to powerful empires and visionary leaders long before colonialism. As the richest man in history, Mansa Musa's journey is not just about gold and power, it's about purpose, vision, and the belief that greatness is achieved by serving others. His empire may have faded with time, but his impact remains immortal. From the golden sands of Mali to the world's history books, Mansa Musa's name shines bright as a symbol of Africa's strength, intelligence, and generosity. Today, when we talk about success and leadership, Mansa Musa's example continues to stand out. He ruled not with fear but with faith. He proved that a leader's wealth is measured not by what they own, but by what they give back. His pilgrimage to Mecca wasn't a display of vanity, it was a declaration of devotion and unity. Through his actions, he showed that Africa's greatness comes from its heart and its heritage. Mansa Musa's empire may no longer exist on modern maps, but its spirit lives on through the legacy of Mali and the continued reverence for Timbuktu as a center of learning and culture. Every generation that hears his story learns something new about the power of vision, generosity, and purpose. It's not just an African story, it's a human story, one that transcends time and borders. So, the next time someone mentions the richest man in history, remember that it wasn't a modern billionaire or an industrial tycoon. It was a wise African king from the 14th century who built an empire with gold, faith, and knowledge. His name was Mansa Musa, and his story continues to remind us that true wealth lies not in what you possess, but in what you give to the world. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed learning about the legendary Mansa Musa and his incredible legacy, make sure to like this video, share it with others who love history, and subscribe for more inspiring stories from around the world. Stay curious, stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next one.